everybody, and welcome to Board Game Breakfast. It seems like it's been a while since I've done this, but it's not really. It's just that we are now back from the biggest convention of the year, the Essen Spiel Fair. Everything is kind of coming back to normal, which is good. We have a lot of cool things planned. Videos coming this week. Z will be doing a question and answer a little bit later today. But the thing I'm kind of excited about here is our 24-hour marathon. So we've been doing this over the years, and each year I'm trying to make it better. We've never done one at the studio here itself. We're going to be doing that here on the 25th and 26th. Starting the 25th, starting Monday morning, we're going to be going through, we're going to be playing games, and it's going to be a little bit different. It might be more than 24 hours. It might go a little bit longer than that. And there's a couple things I'm going to talk about real briefly. Awaken Realms is sponsoring this, and we're going to be giving away free games pretty much every 2 hours minimum, maybe every hour. So if you come watch, it's only for people watching live, you have a lot of chance to win stuff. Secondly, Joe Stedman, the original host for the Dice Tower audio podcast, is coming in and joining us, and he'll be here, and Sam, and me, and Z, and Roy, and maybe more people. So just keep an eye. We'll announce anyone else who's coming in. We're going to have pre-recorded videos, all sorts of things, so it's going to be tons of fun, and we hope that you block some of that time out. We don't expect anyone to watch the whole thing, but block some of that time out to join us. Keep an eye out for that. More videos in that regard are coming, but right now, let's concentrate on what's going on right now, starting with things I found on the internet. All right, so what did I find on the internet this week? First of all, I do mention Paula Denning's videos a lot, but they are pretty funny. She does a parody of Part of Your World, talking about Kickstarter. This would be a good time to mention that Paula Denning will be a special guest on the Dice Tower Cruise coming up in January. Yet another game about best board games. This is best board games of the 2010s. It's on Paste magazine. It's more of a mainstream type thing, but some pretty good picks, so that's always good to see. Board games are showing up in media. The Blacklist show on NBC, I don't have a link for this, that aired on Friday, October 25th, showed Ticket to Ride being played and mentioned Magic the Gathering. And there's a movie I found on Hulu. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but it's about an evil board game, but it shows like all kinds of board games. Mentions Legacy. It shows some pretty good solid board games, and then they went and played Uncanny Annie. Ravensburger has some sort of escape room game advent calendar. Looks like it's only available in German, but man, that's cool. I'm always like looking at advent calendars going, I don't know. This one is one I might like. WBUR did a radio show about Wingspan. Although they did say Wingspan was the best-selling game of the year, and hold your horses there. This has sold very well, though, for sure. I found this neat thing on Board Game Geek. So I made a geek list of cheat sheets that fit on the IKEA Rathskeller shelves type things, but that you can then have a quick summary of the game. It's kind of a neat aspect, something I haven't seen done before. And then Start Player Blog talked about the Spiel, Essen Fair. There's many of these out there, but this was a good one. Some first impressions of games. Someone built their own tabletopper. You don't want to pay the money for one of these big tables. You can just go make your own, or at least that's what this person did. And then from the Shucks convention, how to win friends and manipulate people. You want to know how to be evil, essentially, in a board game. Matt Lees shows you how to do that. That's what I found on the internet this week. If you have something you'd like me to talk about, send it to tom@dicetower.com.
Hey there, everyone. It's Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes. And I'm back with my regular segment of pairing a book and a board game. I do still have a couple of Gen Con interviews left. We're going to take a small break from that. So this week, I'm going to pair a book that I read over the summer. Our summer reading theme was space, so we did a lot of science fiction. This is the first book in the Red Rising series, and it is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is an excellent book that kind of crosses over from young adult into adult, and our main protagonist here, Darrow, has worked his entire life as part of the Red class, really the lowest class on Mars, where they do really very dangerous mining on Mars, and they are controlled by the gold class. I won't give too much away because it's such a great series. But I highly recommend this. So, of course, when you're terraforming Mars, what else should you play other than the one, the only Terraforming Mars, Stronghold Games, Jacob Frixelius? It was such a natural pairing of sorts. This game really doesn't even need much explanation. You are terraforming Mars. You have corporations that you are working as, which you do encounter a lot in Red Rising as well. But this is really becoming a modern classic. I know so many people love Terraforming Mars, and if you haven't read Red Rising yet, I think it'll be right up your alley. We have a couple of different maps for this, but I think this is just one of the best examples of an economic and engine building game that is really out there. Loads of fun. Big recommend. That's it for breakfast this week. I'll see you next week.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, well, today we're going to be talking about Clank. This is The Mummy's Curse, which is an expansion to the regular game. Before we do that, let's talk about our health lives for a minute. We recently created a whole new board game convention we call NumiCon, where us and 15 of our friends went away to a cabin in the middle of Iowa to play board games all weekend long, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and a part of that, me and 3 of the other people went out for a run on one of the mornings, and so it was awesome to be a part of this group of people who loved gaming, but also wanted to get that nice workout in. So we went for a run, we came back home, we did some core workout, and then we played games for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of breaks up the monotony of just sitting and actually being active as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Clank is a game we love. We've reviewed it in the past, so check out our channel on Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews if you want to hear about that. All right, so what does this expansion add?
A mummy and curses.
Yeah, exactly what you would think. It was called The Mummy's Curse. Yeah, there's curses laid out along the paths as you're roaming through this, this pyramid. Adds extra decisions that you have to make. Is it worth going through to get some negative points in order to get to some better treasure? Is it worth going out of your way to fight this monster, the mummy, to remove some of those curses? So I like that it adds some extra thought processes there.
Yeah, if I were to play Clank 2-player, I'd probably go back to the original, but if I were playing at any higher count, 3 or 4, I would definitely add this in. You just need that amount of players to have the mummy move around and to have the curses have more of an impact, but I would definitely incorporate it.
Yeah, it does exactly what I would expect and what I would want an expansion to do. Give me more of what I like without changing the game, without making it drastically different. It just adds the good stuff without changing the complexity or the gameplay.
All right, well, this is Ryan, and I'm Bethany, encouraging you to have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi everyone, my name's Danielle from the YouTube channel Board Game Bakes. On my channel, I make edible board game pieces and components from some of your favorite board games. This week in honor of Halloween, I decided to make Betrayal at House on the Hill. This is actually one of my favorite games, not just around Halloween time. I think it's one of the games that started to get me and my group of friends into more intense gaming than just Scrabble, etc. For the cake, I made a chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. I used fondant, and all the pieces I made are edible. So let's see how to make a edible haunted house cake. Did I mention it glows in the dark? First, I'm going to start with putting things on the house. Now I'm going to add our long set of stairs and the patio. Time to add the fence posts. Next, I add the pillars to the front porch that have a little added gray royal icing to look more like rock. Time to paint the lawn with chocolate icing. Next, we'll add our spooky gravestones. Add some shredded cake and coconut for added scary lawn effect. Now I took the time to add essentially squiggles to all the roofs to give the appearance of tiles. The last step, yay, is to add the fence around your house. You may notice that the pretzels kind of want to crumble apart, and that's okay because it's a haunted house fence. It's supposed to fall apart. Thanks for watching this overview for how to make your own Betrayal at House on Hill haunted house cake. I hope you enjoyed it. For the recipe and for more complete instructions, feel free to check out my channel Board Game Bakes and hit subscribe. Keep playing games and keep them sweet. Bye!
So what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? Oh, Okay, so last week we kind of needed to regain. We put out a few videos. We need to regain our footing. But this week I have some big reviews. We'll be taking a look at the new Azul. I'll be taking a look at Aquatica, the new Ticket to Ride maps and stuff like that. And also smaller games, because I always want to be talking about those. And we're going to be playing through a lot of these new games. It's going to take a while. Testing Tuesday is this week, in which you will see us testing out some of the new games from us. So we're going to play them and see what they are. And then, of course, all our different shows will be going out this week. At the end of the week, we'll be doing a live playthrough of Chameleon. So, interesting things coming your way. Excited to do all that. The podcast is going up too. Eric and myself, continuing on the trend. If you've never listened to the Dice Tower audio podcast, I want to recommend. All right, let's keep going.
Randy and Ellen, we game together.
It's your turn.
Ooh.
Hi guys, I am Randy.
I'm Ellen, and we are talking by this wall.
Yes.
At a convention. It's a local convention in Madison,
There's
Wisconsin.
other walls, but
there's like a lot of walls here. I've seen a lot of walls. Anyway, it's actually one of our bigger conventions for our local ones. The library is fantastic. Milk Hog, right?
Milk Hog puts it on. Yeah, they have a lot of good games here.
They really do.
A lot of open gaming space. They almost doubled it, I think, or actually over doubled it.
I did
from
not
last
know
year.
that.
So yeah,
that's impressive.
in Madison, Wisconsin, and we got to play a new game to us.
Yes, we did.
The Crown of Amara.
Crown of Amara. It was very exciting how it all happened. I was like, we're going to this convention. Who wants to teach us? And this guy's like, I do. And that's it.
Yeah,
and we played it.
I just another awesome experience of finding a gamer that you connected with.
It was very
online,
cool.
meeting them, and then playing a game together.
Yeah.
But the game itself is fantastic.
It's a fantastic game. Euro as Euro can be, but pretty.
There's a lot of points. It's a point-sality game, basically, and it's got 2 rondels on it, which is kind of cool.
I love
and
that.
Once you play cards, you can choose to move one or the other one. Essentially, one of them essentially gives you a lot of resources, and then you go to town with the other person to essentially spend those resources in different ways and collecting lots of points.
Yeah.
Guys, you're collecting lots of points. I can go into details of some of the other things, but you're really just collecting points.
You're just collecting points, yeah. And you actually, at the end of the game, end up scoring your lowest figure. So, you'll either have your little guy, your citizen marker, or your building marker, and it doesn't matter. Which one's lower is the one that scores. So you really need to have a balance of keeping them moving along
the 2 tracks. There's the building track and the citizen track, and then so there's a couple games that have that same mechanic, but it really works well.
I love
especially with the 2 rondels and all that.
So
just
pretty.
Lots of interesting, good choices. So,
we
do
loved it, and I think I
recommend that.
I think I might want to buy it.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's actually a little hard to find.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe we'll find it.
That. Yeah, someone sent it to us.
Guys, we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Happy breakfast, everyone. So, back from Essen, and there was a lot of games, a lot of people, and it was all a lot of fun. Now, yes, the likes of the Pop Funkoverse game, that was really fun, the new Azul, and a load of others, but you've probably already heard about them. One game that I found was just small fun was Snowman Dice from Brain Games. So it's not even in a box, it's in sort of a small fabric-y sort of snowball, and it's a game where you are constantly rolling 5 dice. You're trying to build up your snowman, which is in sort of a bottom, middle and head. You're trying to roll them on normally or wilds. If your opponent does it, or one of your opponent does it first, they're trying to race to the middle, and you're flicking dice to try and knock theirs down. It's chaotic fun. It plays in sort of, each round is maybe a minute long, a couple of minutes, so you're playing the whole game in 5 minutes, but then you're playing again because it was so much fun. And it's just one of those enjoyable games that you come out of a big convention and you think, right, these are all the big games that I had to play, and then you just had a lot of fun in that 5-10 minutes playing this tiny game, and it's one to recommend, especially with Christmas coming up. It's got that sort of fun snow theme, so it might be perfect for getting to the table at Christmas. Definitely one to check out. Again, it's not going to entertain you for hours, but it certainly will entertain you for a few minutes. Anyway, that was Snowman Dice, and I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mystery Component Monday, a segment where I show you a picture of a game piece, and it's up to you to try to guess what game that piece comes from. So, without further ado, let's put on our thinking caps, because here is this week's picture. Okay, time is up, magic wands down, and thinking caps off. And the answer to this week's question is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg is a bag-building, press-your-luck game where players will be trying to make the best healing remedy potions they can, using a variety of ingredients such as pumpkins, mushrooms, spiders, and mandrakes, amongst other ingredients. Players may also use rat tails to enhance their potion's potency. At the start of each round, a fortune teller card will be read and possibly give a benefit to all players. At the end of each round, players will score points and attain money to buy more powerful ingredients, depending on how well they made their potions. They must remain wary though, for if they add too many special ingredients into their concoctions, it may explode in their faces. Quacks of Quedlinburg is played over 9 rounds, and after all rounds are completed, the player with the most points wins. And that is this week's game. Congratulations to everybody who got it right, and for everybody else, there's always next week. But until then, I hope you have a happy breakfast and a happy Halloween. Say what? Oh dear, it seems like I've slept through another holiday.
Hi, we're Board Game Opinions. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Steve.
I'm Amy.
I'm Mark.
And this is our speed quiz where contestants are attempting to guess as many games as they can in a particular category. And this week's category is worker placement games. Now you can have anything that's in the top 100 games from Board Game Geek. There are 24 possibilities. These are fairly famous, these ones. So we're going to start with Amy. Off you go.
Everdell?
No.
Agricola.
Yes.
Caverna.
Yes.
Totally off kill with me there. Lords of Waterdeep.
Yes.
Feast for Odin.
Yes.
Fields of Isle.
Yes.
Dungeon Pets.
Hang on 1 sec. Not Dungeon Pets, sorry.
Raiders of the North Sea.
Yes.
Russian Railroads.
Yes.
Dice Hospital.
No.
Champions of Midgard.
No.
The Gallerist.
Yes.
Pass.
I'll open it up to the floor.
Viticulture.
Yes.
Oh, I love viticulture.
Fields of Green.
No.
Um,
You got a bit of
Cottage
time
Garden.
left. No.
Carcassonne.
No. Worker placement.
Worker placement. War the Ring.
No.
My brain is totally blank.
Bora Bora.
No.
Or Labora.
No.
Ooh.
Not high enough, I think. Okay, that's time. All right, give us a second to top up the scores, and we'll see how they did. All right, the scores are in. And this week, Steve managed to get a whopping 6 points and wins. Mark was on 3 and Amy was on 1. A good effort from them. Other games you could have had in that list were Anachrony, Le Havre, Orléans, Stone Age, Teotihuacan, Zolkin. There were quite a few famous ones in there. They could have got.
Oops.
Did you get any that they didn't? Thanks very much for watching. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, so it's always interesting to me when people love themes for games or love the intellectual property for a game. You know, and that's certainly the case. You know, sometimes they'll come and so I'm looking over at our shelves right over here and I see, for example, legendary James Bond experience. I don't really care about James Bond that much. I mean, I'm kind of ho-hum on that as a whole, but if you really like James Bond, that might be something that gets you into it. Certainly a Marvel game certainly has me interested in it. Or maybe, someone says, I'm making Back to the Future. Oh, I love Back to the Future. And so there's a lot of things like that. And so I was talking to some people about this and how you will love a game so much that the game must be good. And that's problematic, I think, sometimes, when you say, well, I like this theme so much. This theme is amazing, therefore the game must be good. No. And the alternative is, I hate this theme, so therefore the game, it must be bad. But I will say this, you can tell me a game is good all you want, that this game is fantastic, but if it has a theme that I really am not a fan of, I don't really feel like I have to like the game despite the theme. I'm trying to think of something I'm not a big fan of. Kim Kardashian, right? And Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and someone makes a game and they're like, this game's amazing. Yeah, but that theme does nothing for me. You make Bachelor the board game. I don't care about that theme. In fact, I actively dislike that theme. And yet, maybe I don't want to play the game, even if you say the theme is great. Now, there are themes that I'm not a huge fan of, and yet I'll play the game and go, oh, I really like the game. But I think it's okay to be turned off from a game by its theme. I do think it's weird, though, if you play a game and you're like, yeah, this game's not that great, but I love the theme so much, I don't care. I guess that's fine, but don't tell other people the game's good then, when you're kind of liking it because you're like slavishly the theme. And you also have to realize, if you are a big fan of a theming of a game, that sometimes it's okay if they deviate from the theme a little bit to make the game better. You're like, well, technically, this can't work out here. Yeah, but technically, Superman's more powerful than every other character in the universe, so the comic book writers have to constantly write ways to make him have some sort of weakness. A game has to do the same thing. They need to make all the characters somewhat equivalent, and while this character might be a minor character, if you need 5 different people to play the game, it's got to work. Some games do things, it seems, almost perfectly. Battlestar Galactica and different games. You're like, wow, this game took this IP and brought it to the board game and did a really good job of it. Other games do not do such. They're kind of just, they're pasted on, or they deviate because they need to make it a good game. So when it comes to a game and there's a theme that you love, does that make you tend to like the game more? There's like inherent theme bias. Like, I love Star Wars, therefore every Star Wars game is slightly better. And I don't know that that's not necessarily a bad thing, but as long as you recognize it in yourself, as long as you recognize saying, yes, I come into it and I tend to really enjoy, Indian culture, and therefore this game about India and curry or whatever, I tend to like it more than I would. Or this IP, I like this IP more because of something. I think it's fine as long as you recognize that in yourself. I know that I tend to like Marvel games more. Now, I played some poor ones for sure, and I've reviewed a few over the last, but I went into them with higher hopes, higher expectations too. What are your themes? What are the things that you tend to say, well, I'll give it a pass? And are there themes where you're like, not interested at all, don't care, even if the game is good?
Hey, I'm Matthew and this is Dead Last. Thank you so much for watching Board Game Breakfast and joining me here. I do a podcast called This Game is Broken. That's who I am, why is a separate question. Recently, I've been thinking about the fact that I always kind of want to find that game that I can go all in on. And I don't know what that urge is. It's like, do I buy Imperial Settlers and start buying everything for it? And then what happens when I have everything for it? Should I choose a game that's harder to do? Get Dominion. I like Dominion a load. Do I get Dominion and try and go all in on it and collect it? Because that's what it is. That's the problem. It's that I want to be collecting something. I don't know where this primal urge to collect, I don't know where it comes from, but I feel it. I'm like, ooh, Unmatched recently came out. It's a game I absolutely love. And I kept on thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to get that Bruce Lee one. That's difficult to get that promo. And then when the next lot come out, I'll probably get all of them. And I can start collecting it and have all of it. Why? I don't need all of anything. It's a good thing I don't like Imperial Assault. God help me if I like Magic the Gathering more than I do. It's like a primal... I already have a collection. I already collect board games, essentially. You know, I mean, I do play these, but it's a weird feeling because I keep on having it. It's something I keep on getting. Maybe it's just the chase for satisfaction, the chase of an achievement. Maybe it's video games have ruined us all and we just want to have the achievement tick up and say, hey, well done, you've got all those collectibles. Move on to the next thing. So if any of you have that feeling, are there any games that you own everything for? Maybe I saw someone recently with everything for Carcassonne. You don't need everything for Carcassonne. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next week. Bye, everyone.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thanks to all my amazing, fantastic, wonderful, terrific contributors for all that they do. I'm excited to see. We got all kinds of stuff coming out this week. I'm ready and raring to go. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. Don't forget our live 24-hour marathon coming very soon. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production. Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.